You know, I had this really great idea initially for the opening of this video where I'd set down a six pack and then next to it there would be some sort of Prismatic Evolution product and I was going to say, let's see what we have more fun cracking. This Yingling, or are we going to get one of the fabled Eeveelutions? Unfortunately, we were defeated. The golems and the lot lizards of the cardboard crack community, it was already sold out. So, unfortunately, no prismatic evolutions. But Daddy's not going to let you down. We still got something that we're going to open, and to be honest with you, I'm not really the craziest on Eevees, but I do like Charizard. So we did pick up one of these today. We're going to crack this. We're also going to crack one of these little thingy wingies over here. And we're still going to have ourselves a grand old time with this opening. So, I did pick up a Build and Battle Stadium. I believe I've already opened one of these before on the channel, but it was one of the few things left that I could actually get my hands on. And we haven't opened anything Pokemon in a while. I was kind of hoping that one of the stores, they didn't open until like noon today. I was kind of hoping that during my lunch break I'd be able to sneak over there, but yeah, I think talking to the one guy at the counter, they had already sold out of everything within, I think maybe like the first 15-30 minutes. So by the time I had gotten there, everything was already picked through. But still wanted to open something this weekend, so I picked this up. Figured we go hunting after some old Charizards and that, see if we can add any more to the collection here. Plus, we seem to have decent luck with a lot of these Build and Battle Stadiums. So we're going to get right into it here. We'll do a quick little overview, I guess, of what all comes in here. So for starters, we've got 3 booster packs. Okay. We do have, as you can see down here, we got a bunch of dice. Some coins, let's see here, some energies, and then we also have 2 of these little Build and Battle boxes, which each of them will come with some additional cards as well. So you do get 2 of these. We'll see what comes in here. So you get a unique 40 card deck and then 4 booster packs. Of course, this will all be of Obsidian Flames. So I'm gonna pause this real quick. We'll come back and we'll have everything ready to go. Alright, so now that we got everything out of its cardboard prison, we're going to start and get right into it. We're going to cover the decks here first. There's not going to be a whole lot of going through each individual card, because we're going to kind of use this video here as a way to kind of get my rant out. So, by now, as I'm sure you're well aware in that, you probably have better odds of making it out of a P. Diddy party safely than what you do picking up the newest Pokemon set, Prismatic Evolutions. It's been absolutely hot ever since it's dropped. Even the pre-orders were going absolutely wild. Stuff was immediately sold out. And you pretty abruptly saw, stuff getting wild on the secondary market with scalpers. People are now paying 3 times the price for a standard Elite Trainer box. So just something to keep in mind. The standard ETB for this set is supposed to be about $50. However, the average prices is looking to be right around $100. So if you're lucky, you can find it for under $100, but on average, that's what you're going to be spending for this. Now, Pokemon did release a statement stating that they were aware of the problem and that they were hoping to try and print as much product as they could to get it out into the hands of consumers so that everybody was able to enjoy the new set. I am going to be honest with you. To me, it's too little too late. The situation has kind of already left a bad taste in my mouth for multiple reasons that I'm going to get into. For me, the biggest one is that this is not a new phenomenon within the Pokemon community. Probably the last set we saw something like, well, actually it really wasn't that long ago, but Surging Sparks has been going absolutely nuts in that, with everybody going after the Pikachu. I will be honest with you, I've had a hard time finding those products ever since they released. On top of that, as you've seen on some of my other videos, I do open some of the Japanese products, and the Japanese products do release before the English ones. So Pokemon definitely got to see that this newest set here was just going to be an absolute hit amongst the community in that. I myself saw a lot of those boosters go for double, triple the price very early on in that. And I think, purely based off of common sense, you would expect the exact same thing for English, if not even worse, because there are honestly more countries out there that are going to speak English versus something like Japanese. And I know that, they are working to reprint it, but I personally do feel that this is something that they should have expected from the beginning, that this was going to be a hot product. And we've seen scalping within the Pokemon community before, especially during COVID. It did die down there for a little bit, admittedly, but it did start to peek its head back very, very quickly with Surging Sparks. So to me, I think it's just something that honestly they should have been better prepared for right up front. This is not a new phenomenon. And to just kind of see them prepare that poorly, I think is terrible. Because let's be honest, a lot of people out there, they're going to want to get into the hype. We don't really know when the reprint sets are going to come. And on top of that, if a lot of the product's already out, unless they can absolutely flood the market with it, we're just going to run into the same issue again of, once stores start to get more of that reprint product, unless there's going to be a lot of it there and they continue with you can only buy one box per person. Again, it's just going to be the people that can get there the earliest to buy it all out. And everybody else is going to be kind of left in the dust, which I'm not going to lie, does suck. For me personally, I have been kind of taking a little bit of a break from Pokemon. If you couldn't tell, a lot of my card opening videos, they have been Yu-Gi-Oh! And that kind of leads me into my next complaint with the set, is that from a lot of the videos that I've been watching, and this isn't just something from my own point of view, but I've been hearing it from other people too within the Pokemon community, is the garbage hit rates, especially with Prismatic Evolutions. I believe there was something that I had read where you were looking roughly about 100 packs to get an Illustrator Rare, which is pretty large number, especially when you're considering that this is a set that isn't being released in booster boxes, and each ETB only has 9 packs in it. That presents a little bit of a problem because it encourages a lot of people to go out, mass buy these products just so that they have a better chance of getting these Illustrator Rares, which have purposely kind of been seeded pretty poorly. Now, I do know that you have to have a balance between the collectors, the people that are going to play the game, stuff like that. Totally get that. However, I think that whenever Pokemon does sets like these that purely or are more going to appeal towards the collectors, again, I think it's just something that they need to be aware of moving forward. The other thing too is in theory, if you do want to get an Illustrator Rare and you want to try and stack the odds as best in your favor as possible, of course, you could go out there, buy just one of the little sticker collections. I think that comes with maybe 2 or 3 packs. And, hey, you could have a phenomenal opening and you could get one your first pack. But I think on average, if we do 100 packs, and at the current market price of a lot of this stuff, you're looking at people almost having to pay close to $1,000 if they want to open it. Now, of course, a lot of times people would say, well, just buy the singles. And normally I would agree on that. The problem is, though, is a lot of these singles in that have also been going for astronomical prices, to the point of a lot of people aren't going to have the money to go out there and spend it to buy, a lot of product to hopefully get a chance of pulling a Super Illustrator Rare. Speaking of that, we just got one, and damn, that card was cut horribly up top there. But it is an Illustrator Rare, though, so we will take it. But the other problem is I've seen some of these cards. I think I was just talking to my cousin earlier, and he had seen a couple Umbreons up for sale for around like $3,000. So for that same price, you could go out and buy, gosh, I mean, maybe close to like 30 boxes of ETBs, you know, as long as you're buying them at $100, which is, again, kind of the average right now. That's how many, you know, you would be able to buy if you were to buy that Umbreon. Of course, prices are going to fluctuate, but I do think it is a problem in that when a lot of stuff has been priced out to where a bulk of the audience in that just isn't going to be able to get their hands on it. Unfortunately, this also kind of screws over card shops because it kind of seems to be that the only solution that they can really do is to upcharge on the products and to limit it, which I'm totally fine with them limiting. However, I have noticed a lot of other stores in that have been marking it up ridiculous amounts from what the MSRP is. And again, that's just the manufacturer suggested retail price. There's nothing saying that somebody has to charge it for that. 2 Illustrator Rares right out of this. Very nice. But I just think it's kind of in a rough spot right now. I mean, we just came out of this issue with Surging Sparks, but really that was just for the Pikachu, and you know, the holidays were also a thing, so I think that kind of makes it easier for everyone to forget. But if this is going to be a thing moving forward, it might be enough to kind of deter people from getting into the community. So, again, I mean, these might be just very, very small gripes, and I'm sure some people are out there thinking, you know, hey, this asshole's just pissed off and that because he didn't get any, and it's like, I'm not really super concerned about it, but I'm just more thinking of the community as a whole, that, you know, that this is going to have consequences on a hobby that we all really, really like. And I do think the Pokemon Company does need some pressure put on them so that we can hopefully avoid stuff like this in the future. Because at the end of the day, it really doesn't hurt the Pokemon Company. They're just gonna, you know, they're essentially printing money. Every time they print one of these, they're gonna make their money back. But what sucks though is if you're not somebody who is able to get out there day one, buy everything up in that, you are going to be kind of at the mercy of the secondhand retailers. And a lot of times you're going to pay exorbitant amounts overpriced for a lot of these products. And what kind of bums me out is, you know, like for me as an adult, and this is why, like, it's whatever, you know, I still have the option to go out and buy something today. But I do know, you know, for some of these kids out there and that, it's going to be a lot easier to convince their parents, you know, to let them get something for like 25, 50 bucks than what it is, you know, 100 to 150. And again, these are going to be the future fans of the series. That's also, you know, the target audience for Pokemon. Of course, you know, you can be any age and enjoy it. But it would be one of those things that, you know, hey, as a lot of us get older, we might kind of fall out of it or might not be as into the hobby as before. And it is going to be kind of on the younger group to keep the hobby alive and thriving. And what I just don't want to see is us getting into this habit of where, you know, we're just leaving a lot of people out of the hobby. You know, again, like I said, for me, it would be nothing to just get online, buy an Elite Trainer box. You know, of course I'm going to overspend, but then it's also kind of the point of just knowing that, you know, your odds of getting something decent in it are just so abysmal that it just also doesn't even sound fun to me at the same time. It honestly doesn't even make me want to buy the product to begin with, because I know there's a very good chance that, like, I'm just going to open it up and get zilch. And even though I do love opening the packs and everything, you know, it is still a hobby for me. I still want to have a decent chance to get something nice. And I just kind of feel at the rate that they're going, it's going to push a lot of people away, and understandably so. But I will be honest, I mean, that's kind of, you know, these have been some things that are building up for a while now. That's why I've been doing a lot more Yu-Gi-Oh! And ever since I started being able to do stuff on Twitch, you know, I've been doing a lot of Warhammer content recently, but that's just because I'm genuinely having more fun with that stuff, which I think is a shame because I love Pokemon. I think this is such an amazing franchise, but I do think that there are times where, you know, they do get a little big for their britches, and I think it is kind of on us in the community to call them out for this shit, you know. And again, you know, while this is a lot of my opinions, you can go out and watch a lot of these other bigger YouTubers, you know, people that are doing this for like their actual living in that. And, you know, when they're talking about they're not even having fun because rates are just so bad, that kind of tells you that we're not in a good state. But that's just my thoughts on it. You know, it's just kind of one of those things that, like I said, you know, I went to a store today, maybe got there at like 12:45, and within, you know, 15, 30 minutes, there were just all these hobgoblins that apparently had nothing else to do. And, you know, all these other stores that people were waiting outside for them to open up and that, and just buy up everything. And then you immediately see it on the secondary market going for like 2-3 times the price. It just gets kind of annoying. But hopefully that they, you know, they are able to fix it. And my hope would be is that this is something where I know there's kind of already been a lot of disgruntled voices speaking out about it. Hopefully this is kind of that kick in the balls that they need in that to potentially avoid this in the future. You know, I do want to see this franchise be successful. I want to see it be enjoyed as many people as possible. And I know no franchise is going to be 100% perfect, but I just like to see us nip this stuff in the butt. So hopefully if you are, you know, interested in that set, I know a lot of people are big fans of Eeveelution. So if you are able to get into it, I wish you the best of luck with it. But I would also highly encourage that, you know, hey, wait and see how long it takes maybe for these reprints to come out. See how well of a job they do on that. Because, look, I know people, they work hard for their money out there. With the hit rates the way that they are, I just don't want to see people get burnt, you know, and spend like $150 on that just to kind of get zilch and be unhappy. Of course, those are all our own personal decisions. You know, I'm not in control of your wallet. You're not in control of mine. If you want to go out and do that, hey, I wish you, truthfully, I do. I wish you the best of luck. You know, I hope people are out there and having fun with it. But again, like I said, I just think something that we got to nip in the butt before it goes on for too long and we keep kind of seeing this slinky effect of, you know, we have a few good months and then everything just kind of goes to hell in a handbasket and we're trying to catch up. But yeah, I mean, you know, the other thing too is I guess the Pokemon company's not dumb, right? Like we do live in a time in the world in that you can get information just crazy quick. And I think that's ultimately what kind of pisses me off is I think that they honestly deep down kind of knew that this was going to happen. And I think they could have gotten on the ball a lot quicker if they wanted to. And for whatever reason, they just didn't. Because let's be honest, you know, like I said earlier, we saw how well the Japanese stuff did. We saw what happened with 151, with Surging Sparks. I think you would have to be honestly totally ignorant or a fool to think that this wasn't going to happen with this newest set. But that is what it is. You know, that's just kind of my thoughts there. I know they weren't super coherent, but this is a product that we've opened up a fair bit before, and I'm sure those people aren't crazy excited about it, but it is what it is. We still had a good time, and, you know, hey, maybe Obsidian Flames is the way to go because we got not one, but 2 Illustrator Rares out of here. Let's give them their proper screen time. And of course, we got the God Emperor himself, Charizard. Here's the Illustrator Rare, along with our just absolutely horribly cut Reverbrune. I think that guy there must have been having a 6-pack when he cut that. But overall, not a bad opening. I did enjoy this one. So I'm glad you guys were here to share it with me. And again, hopefully we can get this whole Prismatic Evolution thing figured out and we can get people back to having fun without having to break the bank. But as always, thank you for watching, and we will catch you next time.